Okay, so I just did an entire 25-minute video, and because my headphones were plugged in a certain way and I didn't check the volume, the entire video was silent. You could not hear what I was saying, and it's really disappointing, but it was a really good speech, I'll say. It was a really good discussion. I started off by discussing the Beetlejuice, and I find it really odd how there is a couple, okay? Now, from what I can remember, it's like a synapse for the movie, which is funny because it's almost like the synapse of a brain, right? And I thought that's really interesting how movies and stuff like that, how they speak about it almost like life, and they say, oh, okay, well, you're going to start a new chapter in life or a new page, or you're going on a path for like a new part of your story or whatever. Anyways, get back to what I was saying. So you have this couple and they just passed away, and they're just realizing that they've passed away, right? And so they're kind of trying to navigate in the other realms and figure out how to live in those other realms now that they've passed away. And then you've also got this other gentleman who's not really a gentleman, this Beetlejuice guy who also has passed away, and he's now trying to get a job. So you see him in the lineup there, which I find funny with the magician's assistant and the shrunken head guy and stuff like that, and even the guy that goes by that's like flattened, that's carrying the paperwork, and he's kind of like on a hook that leads him around, almost like how they do those things with the laundry or the clothing rack. Anyways, so then you have Lydia, who moves into this house, and she has gifts, okay? And Lydia has an ability to see the dead, and she's not scared of them at all. In fact, the fact that she comes from a different family, will say, she's not afraid of any of the tactics that the passed over people try to pull with her. It doesn't scare her at all. She's not afraid of death. But she has the ability, so she's like a medium, to communicate with these dead past people. And what's really odd, I find, is I don't know, I can't remember exactly why he wants to marry her. I think it's so that either he can become part of the living or she can be dead with him. I'm not entirely sure, but I know he needs to use her energy, right? And he almost tries to make her like a sacrifice, which is strange. He does have her in a red dress, because if you think about red, that would be the root chakra. And a lot of that has to do with like the beginnings of something, where you came from. But anyways, so Lydia, she doesn't want to marry this guy, okay? Because this Beetlejuice guy he acts a certain way and all that, and even still, it's a dead guy, right? But I think he wants to. He threatened her in some way. I don't know if it was for the family or something. I can't remember. But this passed over couple also tries to help. And what's really weird too, this just reminded me of the whole idea of how they have that model of the town. I think it's a model of the town, and that whole idea is from within outwards. You know how our cells and everything, and then our exterior bodies, and then everything around us has to match. The vibrational frequency has to match. So because everything, like the Schumann resonance, how everything is shifted and changed, we ourselves have to elevate. We have to be able to elevate in order to match the vibrational frequency of what's around us. And when we, from within outwards, rise in our vibrational frequency, then everything around us has to match it as well. Excuse me, it has to balance out. So this hating on each other and trying to send spell work at each other and do all this shit, you got to remember right now we're in the frequency that whatever we're putting out or whatever we have done in the past, we are being attuned or atoned for right now. We are being adjusted, we are elevating, we are raising our vibrational frequency, and through that is mainly through self-love for one, because that is the highest form, the authenticity there. Any negative, low vibrational energies, if you ask yourself what is actually lacking and missing within those, or what the lesson would be self-love. So jealousy, hate, envy, fear, anything like that, just trusting in yourself, loving yourself enough, trusting in the universe itself to provide for you because you are a part of the universe, trusting that we all co-create this existence. Whatever we need, we can work as a community to lift each other up instead of tear each other down. We can depend on each other. It doesn't have to be the old system and the way things were working. If you know you've done things in the past to other people, especially really brutal things, you've sabotaged or hurt them or done something, and you know that's going to be coming back to you, you kind of feel it, do not try to outrun it. Accept it with grace, and understand that it's a lesson to be learned. The quicker you learn the lesson, the better off you will be. It is a breakdown of the ego. It's not always easy. Anybody that sends me negative energy myself, I will return that to them, but not in a hateful manner. It's not in a hateful manner. It's so that they themselves will be put in a position to understand that energy that they're sending me, to learn the lessons that need be for themselves here in the 3D for their own healing journeys, so that they will learn as well. Anything that I personally have done that I've been put in a situation, if I jumped to conclusions or if I made rash judgments back in the day, not hurtful ones, it's just due to lack of understanding of myself. But anytime I did that, I was placed in their shoes so that I know how it felt. But I willingly am okay with that, and I don't fight it, knowing that, okay, this is to show me this. Okay, this person's here to show me this, and this is to show me this. And it's not always easy. It's kind of like a slap in the face, really. It's kind of like, oh, well, okay, maybe I did say that, or maybe I did do that. And I realize now, calling people out, especially if I've been getting it to the T, if I've been getting the information correct, and my intuition, which I truly have faith in, is accurate and on point, then the things that I'm saying are meant to be said for a reason, and they are just and fair, and they are meant to be spoken out into existence for others to hear, so that whatever they're going through, they can either resonate and resolve their own issues, so that they're not reliving and the cycle reoccurring over and over and over again for them, because they nobody's given them any tips, nobody's given them any hints on how to heal, nobody's taught them how to integrate or given them any tools so that they could heal and cope. Nobody's been explained how to manage or handle themselves, or know how to emotionally understand and react to their situations, how they can emotionally figure out how to manage themselves so they can transmute the energy into something positive, instead of just strictly acting out of emotion, strictly doing things or saying or acting a certain way out of low vibrational frequencies. And once you get to a certain level, you're outside the matrix, you start seeing all this stuff around you. It's never going to be the same, I tell you. It doesn't matter whether you take the red or blue pill, because red and blue together make purple, which is a symbol of royalty, and they've used it. I guess it was a very expensive color back in the day, and even royalty, very few of them had a garment or so that was of purple. And so if you think about it, red and blue, that's almost like the color of your veins, right? And then if you allow blood, which is blue technically, to touch oxygen, it turns into red. That whole idea of red and blue and the balance and everything like that. I don't know why there needs to be a separation of the two, but technically one has yet to hit this existence and the other one is within you. So that's a little deep in itself. Going back to the whole what do you call that, the Beetlejuice movie, and then the whole idea of like Corpse Bride, and Tim Burton's really good at let me see here, we got Jack Skellington, I think it's Skellington, yeah, the whole idea of Corpse Bride and that idea of the undead. There's a lot of people that, what do you call it? I wouldn't say worship. They have memories. Why am I having such a hard time right now? It's almost like I'm being pressed. They have shrines and stuff, and they show respect to the past loved ones. By doing that, they give the past loved ones energy. They also acknowledge any of the struggles, trials, and tribulations that their past loved ones have gone through. And there's even, a lot of movies that explain this whole idea. And even here in the 3D, there's a lot of artists and other people that have seen and been through a lot of traumas and shit, and that have had near-death experiences, or had died and come back. And I myself have been through a lot of that and question my existence here and how I have survived. It makes no sense to me when I logically think about it, how the things that I've been through, how I'm still here. And you'll get a lot of artists, even ones that sing and stuff like that, or people that place in movies. By the way, the movies they did in the 80s were really good, 80s and 90s, how creative it was, and we really need more of that. And to any directors out there, hey, what's up? I got tons of ideas, like brand new ones, especially ones to do with merfolk and stuff like that. With my intuition and tapping in and downloads I could give you great plots and storylines and stuff like that, with messages and the whole idea of morals of the story, and but with a creative touch. Not that that's my thing, I'm not no director, but I could definitely help a person out, because I would love to see some original new movies instead of like reruns or second, third, fourth things going off the first original one, or sequels and stuff like that. It's not always necessary. We get something like brand new. So shout out to any directors, you want to hit me up, that's cool. I got lots of ideas. You can check out my videos. Get back to this whole living or dead thing, okay? So when it comes to this reality, you'll start to realize that unless you're living your full truth, unless you're on your pathway and your journey, the moment you step outside the matrix, you realize that the only thing that's going to fulfill you is doing what you're meant to be doing. The only way you get any fulfillment and joy out of life is by literally being on your path and doing what it is that you came back here to do. and you'll be guided. Even in your karmic state, it's like a chess game where vessels were used by higher and lower vibrational frequencies or energies or whatever you want to call it. And we can embody certain energies as well. And when they're playing the chess with this whole spiritual warfare bullshit, when you're in a karmic state, the lower vibrational frequencies get to kind of take over, take the wheel and steer. And we're supposed to have free will. And it's kind of hard when not both sides know all the rules to the game. So it gets a little bit of a fucking bullshit when some of, especially the masculine, no offense to the patriarchy, but you have been passing down certain wisdom and knowledge and keeping the women as slaves. Not so fair. No wonder they're pissed off. You best be careful, because every time a woman wakes up and realizes her self-worth and value, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to get what it is that you set this whole system up to get. Easy, without having to work for it. Women hold a lot of the knowledge, and we have a lot of the secrets in the whole existence of all this shit. And the men and women should be working together as duality, masculine and feminine. And yes, it's great, we can carry that ourselves, but it's fucking exhausting, I'll tell you that much. In the natural state, a man can hold masculine and feminine, but is mostly in his masculine. In a natural state, a woman can hold feminine and masculine, but in her natural state holds mostly feminine. That's why the whole idea of a couple working together is there. I thought it's really weird how they base the whole marriage on the terms and the words they use on horses, and the whole idea of horses. And I think the whole idea that we speak a lot about things as maritime, like ships. We use that a lot in our language. It's really interesting how everything's been based, and lies are all coming out. People are starting to heal, vibrations starting to be raised. The details I had in the video I did previous to this, where I did a whole like rant, I tell you, it was magnificent. But I didn't give up, just because the last one I recorded was silent. I'll take that as a form of that energy having to go somewhere. Because lately I've had my headphones, my earpiece busted, the mic for my headphones connected, busted. Me doing a video and it being on like mute. Certain things in my electronics, my jaw being sore and having to work that back out. I'm getting a lot of negative energy. A shit ton of fucking spell work sent towards me to keep me silent. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm gonna call it. I'm calling judgment. Those of you that are sending me this shit to keep me silent, even if I stay quiet, there's a collective. Meaning that when our vibrational frequency is high, we're responsible for our actions, and we're to lead by example. When one of us gets knocked down, listen to me carefully. When one of us gets knocked down, there's another one behind us to lift us up, or carry us, or carry their own weight, or take over, especially when one of us is tired, or we get knocked down, or we fall, whatever you want to call it. When one of us gets knocked down, or sabotaged, or whatever you want to call it, there's another one behind us, okay? Until the other one's back up and ready to go again, like a phoenix. So if you try to shut me up, there'll be another person speaking. If you're trying to keep your secret secret, just remember, then you know damn well what you did was the incorrect way of going about things. There was another way, and you chose to do something that was not for your highest purpose or anybody else's, and you went against your morals and values. Because if you know it's wrong, you're going to try to keep it secret. Meaning, even your highest self is kicking your own ass right now, because all that karma is going to come right back on you. Okay? And I'm not saying this to threaten you, to make you feel worse than you probably already do. I'm saying this to prepare you. If you've done a lot of bad to people, it's going to come back to you. If you continue out of desperation, especially, to do spell work on myself or other people, it will come back to you, or it will be transmuted into something else. All this stuff around me that has anything to do with my voice or speaking or anything like that, that is being broken or ruined, that energy is going somewhere. I am protected, and I believe that fully. Are you? Do you love yourself and care about yourself enough to take care of yourself and pamper yourself and start your healing journey and do what you need to do for you and do what's best for your highest interest or helping others? Or are you trying to sabotage and continue on a low vibrational state? Because I'll tell you, if the earth itself has shifted and we're all getting into a higher vibration and we're all elevating, especially maturing emotionally, which is higher vibration, then everything else has to also align with that. If you are continuing on a lower path, you are going to have your ass handed to you. I don't have to do anything. I like to dabble in healing. I like to do things that involve healing, protection, mending. And it's not always easy and it's painful sometimes, but that's a part of it. I've accepted this journey. I've made the choice out of my free will. Anybody that comes up against me or gets in my way is going to be met, not just with my ancestors, but with their own fucking karma and energy that they're putting and projecting onto me. I don't have to do anything. And if you're coming at other people, not just myself, the rest of the collective, if you're attacking them out of your own desperation, fighting your own shadow, not wanting to take a look inside or even take a look at any of that, please, please just reconsider, please. So there's a lot of you I truly love and care about. I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. Please reconsider. Please stop trying to attack those of us that are speaking out. Please don't take it personally. This is your warning. There's been signs and synchronicities in front of you. Every day you go out and you walk around, when you're paying attention, they're meant for you. Whatever's put in your reality in front of you. If you're vibing high, you will get the messages. If you're vibing low, you will get the messages. If you're outside the matrix, you will see the difference of both. You will see what's your energy and what's not. You will see what people are sending towards you, and sometimes you'll be shown who the fuck is sending you it. Please stop fighting each other and yourselves. You want it just as badly as I do to have peace within. And I think that's why a lot of people have come at me too, or others that are doing this whole healing thing. It's because they want their peace too, but they're struggling with themselves. And instead of going within, they're just attacking, which is just projecting outwards. Speak your truth. Get it out. Hiding shit is not going to work. Loving yourself, forgiving yourself, trusting yourself, having faith in yourself, being independent, self-sufficient, open-minded, not fearful. There is no room for fear here, guys. There is no room for fear. There is nothing to fear. Okay? Maybe your own brain, yeah, because it can do some fucked up shit. And if people are projecting negative things onto you and you're at a low vibrational frequency, that'll mess with your head. And there's people that are fully aware of how this works, and they take full advantage of other people, and they try to do some really nasty things. They're not exempt from karma. They're not an exception. It doesn't mean it doesn't hit them back, because it will. I'm doing things in a high vibrational state, and even I get karma handed to me. Even I get my lessons when I jump to conclusions, or I get too emotional or worked up, or if I get too overly excited for something, or judge a certain thing that isn't on point. If I act out of fear, automatically I will get karma to show me. And it's almost like an ego death. It's like a white flag for yourself, to yourself, stating that you're not going to fight yourself. You acknowledge both sides within you. Understand that they both serve a purpose. Try not to give too much energy to one or the other. Observe, learn, grow, love, elevate, be abundant, have fun, be creative. You're worth it. You are always worth it. Know your morals, your values, worth, all that good stuff. Okay? The ones before us were tricked out of certain things, and they were not given for the next lifetime. They weren't given tools to learn how to heal. Please, we have the tools now. We know better. We learned. We don't have to live in the old system anymore. Okay? I truly do respect you. I love you. I care about you. And if I am a certain way to reflect back to you something that you don't like, or you're really disliking, please know I'm not doing it out of hate. Please know I'm not doing it out of disrespect. That does not benefit me any. It does not help me gain anything. It would only add to my karma, which I'm not interested in. Please know the things I say and do are to help in some way, shape, or form. And I don't have to go out of my way, but I am compelled to do this because I know it's the right thing to do. To get shit out there that most people won't even touch with a 40 fucking foot pole because they're scared. Please do not fear anything. It doesn't help. Okay?